Normally I used to sit and then record the video, but आज मुझे लगा कि थोड़ा खड़े होके बात करनी चाहिए ना, एज अ टीचर मूव करते हुए, वॉक करते हुए. सो एग्जाम डेट आ गई है, 1 मार्च है, आज 21 फेब है. और बैड लक ये है कि फरवरी में 29, 30, 31 नहीं होता. देर इज नो 29th, देर इज नो 30th, there is no 31st. So in short, it's 21, which is almost gone. So let's not count 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 7 days, and you have your exam. First को exam है. Okay. So what to do now? अब क्या करें? करें तो करें क्या? बोले तो बोले क्या? Okay. So first of all, 7 days हैं. There are two types of guidance. First, for them who are actually preparing, जो ऑलरेडी पढ़ रहे हैं, लगातार तैयारी कर रहे हैं, आपके लिए है टारगेट 7 days टारगेट. डिवाइड योर 7 different units. जैसे 3 units आपकी इनिशियल ड्रामा, नॉवेल, पोइट्री, ड्रामा, फिक्शन, पोइट्री. इसमें एक्चुअली आपका पूरा ब्रिटिश हिस्ट्री, इंडियन लिटरेचर, अमेरिकन प्राइमरली आ जाता है. So, is it possible that we study for 7 to 8 hours? At least 7 to 8 hours. And within 2 days, we just revise drama, poetry, and fiction. When you revise drama, focus on Shakespearean drama first. In Shakespearean drama, also, make sure you remember you go for 4 tragedies, 4 comedies. Then, make sure you go for Ben Jonson, because in Ben Jonson, Walpole, Alchemist are most important works, along with some basic difference. In Christopher Marlowe, Geofalta, Dr. Faustus is very important. You can't leave that. Then comes that in same, because I didn't tell you about Canterbury Tales, I didn't tell you about Anglo-Saxons. Normally they ask basic questions from those things. Here you have to understand, you have to have the faith that you have studied those things. You have to prepare that you have studied those things. So instead of going for all those things, go for a cursory skimming, a faster skimming. जल्दी जल्दी रिवीजन करो, जल्दी जल्दी चीज़ों को चेक करो. फिर आपके पास आता है फ्रांसिस बेकन. No need to worry. Francis Bacon, Lord Viscount Veruculum, Sir Francis Bacon, his personal life and his writing career, both are very important. But here in both, remember this thing, that don't ask in-depth question. So first, just remember New Atlantis. In Jamia entrance exam, they have asked a question from New Atlantis. Second is advancement of learning. No need to go for his essays. His essays can be identified. If the quotations are asked, you will identify. Now comes the Edmund Spencer, whether you should read Edmund Spencer, Philip Sidney or not. Better you just revise your notes and focus on Philip Sidney more than Edmund Spencer. Sidney is more important. He's the part of criticism also. Then, once you're done with these kind of basic writers and all, go for the next age where they have the revenge tragedy writers. Focus on Webster, Duchess of Malfi, The White Devil and Duchess of Malfi. These are two important works that you have to focus. Rest of the works you can ignore. Then, when you move forward, Chapman's one famous work, Batra Comio Machia, that is important. That's a parody. So just read the title only, just notes. No need to go for depth. In this video, I'm telling you what exactly you have to read. Okay. Now, when you move forward, there comes a group called Cavaliers. In Cavaliers group, remember the names of writers and single books. That's enough. No need to go for anything in the depth. As I have taught you, just remember the notes only. Nothing else. कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है. 10 मिनट में Cavaliers का revision you will be able to do that. But when you come to Milton, because when you move forward after Charles Swann, we find Puritans. Puritans में Milton आता है. Milton will take time. Now, how to handle Milton? Again, remember those Paradise Lost 12 books where I have talked about that what happens in book 4, book 9. Remember these two important things. Remember the names of devils and characters. Along with that, Samson Agonist. Last time Jamia exam, recent Jamia exam, there was a question. Closet drama. Along with this, in John Milton, all the titles, all the publications, timings are very important. Areopagitica was a question in GATE exam. ये सब याद करना है. 1644 एरियोपेजिटिका. मिल्टन से आगे चलो. अब मिल्टन से आगे चलते हुए तो नेक्स्ट राइटर वी हैव इज बनियन, पिलग्रिम्स प्रोग्रेस, एंड मिनिमम at least remember this, that part 2, part 1, what are the publications? 5 to 7 places. The River of Death, Valley of Shadows, interpreter's house, value of humiliation. On my main channel, we have recently uploaded a video about gender study. Are you a male? Are you a female? Are you a real male? A real female? Was that video? Once you're done with this, was that video? That's on gender studies. Now, when you move forward from Bunyan, here we have 3 4 writers, but they don't ask in-depth question. Thomas Brown, Religio Medici 1642, Isaac Walton, Complete Angler 1653, then Robert Burton, Anatomy of Melancholy 1621, John Locke. John Locke is very important. Essay Concerning Human Understanding 1690. These people are minor writers, but their questions based on their dates and the titles of the books have been asked. So इनको जल्दी जल्दी check करो, clear करो. While you are going for the same thing, make sure in metaphysical poetry you have given proper time to John Donne and Andrew Marvell. Other writers you can avoid, Abraham Cowley and others you can leave. Marvell, Andrew Marvell, and John Donne. Andrew Marvell, you all know for one book, To His Coy Mistress. There they can ask you the quotations. In John Donne, primarily go for sun rising. With sun rising, also go for elegy on his mistress going to bed. I have taught you all those things. I'm not going to add something new. I have taught you all these things. I'm just reminding you that are you done with those things? ये सारी चीजें कर लो. इसके बाद थोड़ा सा जब आगे चलोगे तो आपको मिलेंगे राइटर्स जो कि आएंगे रेस्टोरेशन के. रेस्टोरेशन में ड्राइडन है. इन ड्राइडन, Absalom Achitophel Macflecknoe essay on dramatic poesy, and then the title of the medal, the issue between medal and the medal of John Byes, Shadwell issue, along with Astrea Redux, then 3 special dates, which is also known as Annus Mirabilis. इनके टाइटल वाइटल जल्दी जल्दी याद करना है, जल्दी जल्दी रिवीजन करना है. You should know these things. You have been taught these things. They'll ask a question, what is Annus Mirabilis? You know that year of miracles. What happened? 3 events, 1665, 1666, 1667. Plague, fire, defeat of Dutch fleet, that I have taught. So once you do these things, you're done with Dryden. As I have taught you the opening quotation of Macflecknoe that has been asked in exam. So remember, all things are subject to decay, but when fate summons, monarch must obey. तो ये देख के जाओ. अब ड्राइडन से आगे चलते हैं. रेस्टोरेशन में जब हम ड्राइडन से आगे चलते हैं तो वाइचरली, एथरेज, कॉन्ग्रीव, these are the important one. Simply go for way of the world. There are 13 plus questions in exam. 13 बार क्वेश्चन आ चुका है way of the world. Millamant, Mirabelle, Mrs. Fennel, Mr. Fennel, Lady Wishford, सारे characters याद कर लो, opening scene and all. Spend some time. Give 5 to 10 minutes to this particular work. Then you can go for Morning Bride. That's important. Marguerite is the Morning Bride. Sorry, that Puritan wife, Morning Bride only. This one, you have to go for this one. Queen Zara is the character there in Morning Bride. Then we have Country Wife. Country Wife, we have Marguerite, a Puritan character. And there is also one character, Horner, who pretends to be a Cleve, a eunuch, to be in the company of women. Then when you move forward, here you will find a writer who criticized Restoration literature, who criticized Restoration writers. We have Jeremy Collier. Jeremy Collier, who wrote a short note on prophecy and immorality and profaneness of English stage in 1698. Check that pamphlet. I have taught you, I have told you they have criticized 4 people. I also taught you that the Dryden was 4th number, who are the first one, Congreve and Winbrew. ये याद करना है. दोस्तों, summing up, I have already taught you all those things. All you have to do is revision. Just revise those things. Skimming karo. Then, as I have given some half of the British history, so I should tell you something more. रेस्टोरेशन में इसमें आगे चलोगे, ड्राइडन के बाद आगे चलोगे, फिर रेस्टोरेशन में आते हैं डायरी राइटर्स. डायरी राइटर्स वी जस्ट फोकस ऑन सैमुअल पेपीज. 9 years history of diary, starting from 1660, found in 1825. Final publication comes in 1983. Some important details: the Fire of London, Shakespearean performances, the most stupid and silly play not related to the name on the person for Twelfth Night, Midsummer's Night, most ridiculous play I have ever seen. उनके सारे dialogues check कर लो. And then when you move forward, you come for the Augustan age. In Alexander Pope, mostly people will read Rape of the Lock. I have told you that along with the Rape of the Lock, Epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot is very important. Last 5 years, more questions are being asked from Epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot. So make sure you go for Epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot, check those things. Good, good, John. Shut the door. Fatigue, I said. So these kind of lines are very important. As I've also told you that he talks about his father, born to no pride. So make sure you read this. Then when you go for the other writers, Swift, Gulliver's Travels, Battle of the Books, Tale of a Tub. 5 minutes at least, go for them. And as I taught you Gulliver's Travel, I told you that they are not only the four basic journey, four human miseries also in an order. So you must remember what happens in Lilliput, what happens in Brobdingnag, what happens in Laputa, what happens in Hoffenheims. Who are those people? How it's a satire? What's the theme of Gulliver's Travel? Why did he write his friend that I heartily hate and detest the animal called man? This is there. Then comes the satire by Swift, a modest proposal. A modest proposal is very important, and you should know that it was written in the reply to Daniel Defoe. ये मैंने आपको लिखवाया है. I have made you write that. So I'm not telling you something which is random all of a sudden. I have already given it to you. आपके पास ये है. Those who don't know it, they should write down these names. ये सारी चीज़ें कर लो रिवीजन स्टार्ट करके, क्योंकि इसके बाद you'll go for Tetler, Spectator, Rambler, Idler, a question of gate exam, the magazines, Tetler, Spectator, Rambler, Idler. So 1709, then 1711, then Rambler is 1750 to 52, Idler, TSRI. Idler is 1758 to 1760 by Samuel Johnson. I have taught you about other magazines also. हैनरी फील्डिंग चैंपियन पढ़ाया मैंने आपको, कॉलरेज का वॉचमैन पढ़ाया मैंने आपको. ये सारी चीज़ें ऑन टिप्स होनी चाहिए, ऑन टिप्स. Then Spectator Club, Jamia Millia Islamia. There was a question, as I've taught you. I also told you this thing, that be ready for the characters. So watch, make sure that you remember 6 characters of Spectator Club: Andrew, Freeport, Will Honeycomb, Rosa D. Coverley, Mr. Spectator, Widow Lady, Captain Sentry. 6 characters. As it is याद होने चाहिए. इसके बाद when you go for John Gay, Beggar's Opera, very important. 1728, very important work. And जॉन गे के लिए एक लाइन है अलेक्जेंडर पोप की, ऑफ मैनर्स जेंटल, ऑफ अफेक्शन माइल्ड, इन विट अ मैन, इन सिंप्लिसिटी अ चाइल्ड. सेंट्सबरी कॉल्ड हिम अ ह्यूमन लैप डॉग. आई हैव मेड यू राइट ऑल दोज थिंग्स. ये सब लिखवाया हुआ है. यू हैव दोज थिंग्स. ईमानदारी से रिवीजन कर दो. नोबडी कैन स्टॉप यू, ट्रस्ट मी. You have seen the videos of toppers. Last exam, October exam, November 5th result. We have uploaded. There are so many videos still pending. So nothing is going to be out of syllabus. You have to revise things. As I know it, I cannot revise all the syllabus here only. But make sure you go for maximum revisions. सारे रिवीजन करने की कोशिश करो, सबसे ज़्यादा रिवीजन करने की कोशिश करो. And along with this thing, when you move forward, जब आप आगे चलोगे तो आपको मिलेगा प्री रोमांटिक टाइमिंग्स. विलियम कूपर, विलियम ब्लेक. मैं गेट बंद करके आता हूँ, 1 मिनट. मेरे मोहल्ले के डॉग्स को पता है मैं लाइव क्लास ले रहा हूँ, एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई लेफ्ट माई गेट ओपन. So go for William Cooper, William Blake. But when you go for William Cooper and William Blake, remember that William Cooper is more known for mysticism. There are so many quotations that can be asked from Cooper. While in William Blake, the Marriage of Heaven and Hell, symbolic work है, बहुत important है. Vision of Daughters, the Daughters of Albion, very important work, along with Songs of Innocence, Songs of Experience, 1789, 1795, 19 songs are here, 23 songs are here. ये याद रखना है. टाइगर टाइगर बर्निंग ब्राइट, ब्रेड पेट का नाम है टाइगर. लाइन्स याद करनी है. डिड ही हु मेड द लेम made thee a fearful symmetry. These kind of references are very important. In William Cooper, task poetry, sofa poetry is very important. Timepiece poetry is very important. Verses report supposed to be written by Alexander Selkirk is very important. What's the line? I am the monarch of all I survey. My claim here is none to dispute. ये सब याद रखना है tips पे. Then comes William Cooper's Negro's Complaint. Most random work, 90% people don't study this, 90% teacher don't teach that. You have done this, revise it. Then go for James Thompson. People normally go for Thompson for seasons. You have to remember the Royal Britannia song. Rule Britannia, rule the wave, England will never be slave. वो याद करके जाना. कैसल ऑफ इंडोलेंस में इंडोलेंस का नाम ड्रैगन है. दिस इज समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ये याद करके जाना. इसके बाद आता है थॉमस ग्रे, एलिजी रिटन इन अ कंट्री चर्चयार्ड, 1751. दैट इज इन पिंडारिक ओड बट इन इंग्लिश स्टाइल. आई हैव टॉट यू दैट ऑल्सो. द ओरिजिनल पिंडारिक ओड and the modern English Pindari code has a difference. Modern Pindari code follows Abraham Cowley. Thomas Gray has used it. So make sure you remember this along with the lines. Curfew tolls the knell of the parting day, the weary plowman plots to his way. The plowman plots to his way. This is very important reference. Transferred epithet, question of net exam. Make sure you remember that. Then comes ग्रेवयार्ड पोइट्री रॉबर्ट ब्लेयर थॉमस पार्नेल इनको भी पढ़ना है और वंस यू आर डन विद दीज थिंग्स हॉरेस वॉलपोल फॉर गॉथिक नॉवेल कैसल ऑफ ऑट्रेंटो 1764 एंड रेड क्लिफ द इटालियन मिस्ट्रीज ऑफ यूडोल्फो ये सारे आपको पढ़ने पड़ेंगे मंक लेविस मैथ्यू लेप्रायर लेविस ये सारे गॉथिक वाले जल्दी जल्दी देखना है स्पेंड 5 minutes if it's very important give 10 minutes otherwise give 5 minutes and if it's only title purpose and I have made you written only title, go for 2 minutes. This is the pre-romantic one. Then in pre-romantic, go for the four wheels of the novel. Henry Fielding, Samuel Richardson, Tobias Smollett, Lawrence Stern. इसमें एक काम करो हेनरी फील्डिंग टॉम जोन्स जोसेफ एंड्रूज वर्म वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सैमुअल रिचर्डसन पामेला समरी विल बी मोर देन इनफ समरी कर लो बहुत है नो नीड टू रीड Tobias Smollett छोड़ दो completely. There was one question last Andhra set exam 5 years back. उसके बाद से no question from Tobias Smollett. Lawrence Stern, the life and history of some Tristram Shandy gentleman. That is very important. Spend at least 10 minutes. That's very important. Daniel Defoe, Robinson Crusoe, very important. There was a question in Jamia exam to pick the wrong one, which is not true. So in not true, there was a reference. Check that. Plus Moll Flanders. Moll Flanders is the female picaresque heroine. अपने आप में important बनता है. This is very important. ये नहीं भूलना है. And then comes, we are almost, थोड़ा सा speed पे हूँ तो if I'm missing some writers, ये मत सोचना मुझे याद नहीं है. It's just मैं जल्दी जल्दी आपको बता रहा हूँ. तो हमने कर लिया है नोवेल हो गया है. इसके बाद छोटे मोटे राइटर हैं डॉन डी लीलो है सुसाना सेंट लिवर है हना मोर है ये सब छोटे मोटे राइटर्स इनको इग्नोर कर सकते हो लंडन मर्चेंट का वर्क है फैटल क्यूरियोसिटीज का वर्क है नो नीड टू रीड दिस देन यू हैव टू गो फॉर प्री रोमांटिक्स वी हैव डन रोमांटिक्स नो नीड टू टेल वर्ड्सवर्थ I have taught you preludes. I have told you he meets Coleridge in book 5. I have told you that when which book he was in school, in which book he talks about sailing things and all. आपको पूरे prelude का detail पता है. I have taught you in which book he gets frustrated, in which book, which was written after his death. Prelude 13 books, Prelude 14th book. 14th is written after his death, which is by his wife. So you have to remember these things. Solitary Reaper, Rainbow Poetry. It should be on your tapes. Please remind. Solitary Reaper is very important because it's directly connected to the theory of poetry by Wordsworth. Collected unconsciousness. When he says that poetry is spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions recollected in tranquility. So that recollected tranquility concept. Solitary Reaper. Child is the father of man. Very important. Lucy family. याद रखना. Idiot boy में Johnny Foe idiot boy है. That's very important. Goody Blake, Harry Jill. This is very important. Poetic justice. Once you're done with this, London, upon Westminster Bridge, the world is too much with us, and the names of those two gods in the world is too much with us. Check that now. Coleridge, don't go to the exam if you have not revised Kubla Khan. And you don't know Samuel Purchas, Pilgrimage, Man from Pordock, opening lines of Kubla Khan. Then I have taught you Christabel line by line. I told you that these are 7 signals. So that signal of mastiff batch, iron gate, fire, shield, reflection, wine glass, denies to pray, big black mall, all those things. Remember that. Then we go for Keats. If you have not revised Grecian Urn, Ode to Nightingale, Ode to Autumn, then don't go to the exam. Along with that, you should know Endymion, you should know Eve of Saint Agnes, you should know Isabella, Pot of Basil. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, you should at least give them. Make sure you do that. You have those things in your notes. You have those things in my lectures. If you have noted them, you have to do that. जिन्होंने notes मंगवा रखे हैं 2-2.5 घंटे बस revision करो. Tick, tick, tick. Take a pencil. Go for revision. Going for Shelley. Ode to West Wind, to a Skylark. Very important. Then you have to go for Ozymandias. I met a traveler from an antique land. The title has been taken by Amitav Ghosh. So ये कर लो. अब बचता है रोमांटिक्स में Thomas Love Peacock can be a question. I have already taught you reference of Shelley. So, Leigh Hunt for Story of Rimini, I told you not that very important. Mary Shelley, Frankenstein, I've taught you. I told you Mary Shelley, Modern Prometheus, ये भी आपको बताया है. ये भी बताया है कि उसमें story का concept क्या है, how it's gothic. Make sure you read all those things. इसके बाद romantic writers में आपके बचते हैं Walter Scott, Jane Austen. Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Northanger Abbey. Three important works. One is Gothic satire, Northanger Abbey. Emma and Pride and Prejudice are very important works. Revise the summary. Walter Scott, Heart of Midlothian. That's very important. Bride of Lammermoor. That's very important. 90% people don't know that. They will be going for Ivanhoe. You have to go for these two. Then we have Hazlitt, Lamb, De Quincey. De Quincey, there was the last question in exam. Murder, Confessions of an English Opium Eater. So go for De Quincey. Check them. Check those works. In Hazlitt, you can avoid him still, or the basic title. In Charles Lamb, again you just have to go for his title only. Essays of Iliad, Tales from Shakespeare, Ulysses. In Byron also you just know his personal life, no need to read anything, only title can help. Saude you can ignore. Saude को आप ignore कर सकते हो, or just remember him for the vision of judgment. See the sweat. तो जल्दी in 21 minutes I have almost revised everything. Had I be having 2 more hours, I would have finished entire literature in details. So अभी ज़्यादा नहीं करूँगा. उसका simple सा reason है heavy breathing, because I'm constantly speaking in a speedy way. It's like 30 minutes में net का paper करना है. Do you know I nailed my 8th net in -20, and that was just 1 hour. I think I gave up, but I qualified. So fastest. I hope I have saved your time today. Revise it. For me, it is easy to say that you have to do it, because see, I have taught. So my opinion is that I have taught, they have studied. I understand. Sometimes I have taught, but you are not able to write down things. You're not able to read those things. You have your personal life. You have your personal duties. You have family responsibilities. So I understand where I'm saying that you have done it, and you actually haven't done it. There are chances you have not done it. So it's simple. As the days are less, normally people would go for panic. अरे 7 दिन में कैसे होगा, 7 दिन में कैसे होगा? But there are people who are going to attempt the exam, right? So even if you have the tension, even if you have the panic, even if you are getting frustrated, remember that for these 7 days, give your best. Even if you feel you won't be able to do it, no problem. But at least give your best. How do you hit a long six? एक लंबा छक्का कैसे मारते हो बैटिंग करते टाइम? You lose the fear of getting out. If you have the fear of getting out, you will not take a step to hit a six. So avoid that fear. क्या होगा? बोल्ड हो जाएंगे, होने दो, क्या प्रॉब्लम, वो तो वैसे भी हो जाएंगे. So let's go for a six. It means where others are having panic, tension, depression, 7 days कैसे होगा, you are Venetian. I hope ये आपको सीधा दिख रहा हो. You are Venetian. Venetian कोई मेरा नाम नहीं है, ये मेरा फॉलोअर नहीं है, ये मेरी स्पिरिट है. और वो मेरी पर्सनल स्पिरिट नहीं. I have taken it from my teachers, the best people around. So technically Venetian is spirit. And what is the theme of the spirit? Where others are giving up, we will take a chance. So what do we say? Let's try. Thank you so much. Attempt your exam and stay tuned on this channel. ये चैनल दूसरा चैनल है, इसको सब्सक्राइब करो. यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लाइव सेशन मिलेंगे. गुड नाइट.